Right, it is the 9th day of May 2023. Trust you're doing well. We have so much lined up for you on today's KUTV Prime Time News. But as is our custom, let's take a look at our top stories tonight. Primary and secondary students resume classes for second term as parents decry increase of school fees. Bishop Oginde vows to join in the fight against corruption while taking his oath as the new EACC chairperson. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki visits Shakahola for second exhumation exercise, reveals that 65 people have been rescued as death toll rises to 133. And Ruto holds bilateral talks with Israel President Isaac Herzog to intensify cooperation to boost agriculture, trade, technology, and security in Kenya. Evans ODIAMBO is our sign language interpreter tonight. My name is ODIDA. Let's get started. Now, it is back to school season and parents are complaining about the increase of fare prices as primary and secondary schools reopen for midterm, the longest term in the academic calendar. And now Salma Saleh reports a section of parents have greatly lamented over the high school fees amidst the high cost of living in the country.
The short first term break is over, paving way for the longest academic term in the academic calendar. Many students are seen flocking in bookshops and bus stations ready for school. However, parents couldn't stop complaining about the hiking of fare prices during these back-to-school times and the traffic jam that is experienced due to how busy the cars are.
Iko juu na maisha iko juu, kila kitu iko juu. Sasa kama saa hii tunalipishwa, kama sasa mtoto wangu anaenda Ebu, tunalipishwa mali, tunalipaga 500, saa hii tunalipishwa 700. Unaona? Sasa kama ni hali ya barabara, jam, nini iko. Kwa hivyo, kuko hivyo.
They also complained about the short-term breaks that do not give them an opportunity to get money for the school fees, which is not slightly cheaper despite the difficult economic times, making them strain to fulfill their responsibilities.
Sasa serikali iangalie, at least iangalie mtu wa chini, ipunguze maisha. Jaribu kupunguza, kama hiyo wanasema wanataka kuongeza mafuta, isiongeze ili at least gharama maisha ishuke kidogo.
They therefore have pleaded with the government to see the stabilization of the economy to cater for the people who have a minimum salary and those who are not employed at all.
Kulingana vile uchumi iko, mambo imekuwa ni magumu sana hata kwa wazazi, sababu huku shule zinafunguliwa kwa muda mchache na bado ile pesa tunapata ni ile. Sasa kubajetia kurudi shule na pia watoto wenyewe wapate kitu ya kula kwa nyumba inakuwa ni ngumu.
The parents will be expecting their children back home on 29th of June for a short midterm break and resume back on 2nd of July. More so, this is the last year with Class 8 students since the change of curriculum by the then Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha.
Despite the harsh economic times being experienced by most people in Kenya, parents are forced to dig deeper into their pockets to see their kids go back to school for their second academic term. Salma Saleh, KUTV, Nairobi.
Now, former Christ is the Answer Ministry Church presiding Bishop David Oginde has been sworn in as the new Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC chairperson. Oginde swearing in at the Supreme Court of Kenya on Tuesday was presided over by Chief Justice Martha Koome. Oginde has vowed to fight corruption, which he has termed as the worst enemy in the country. Joseph Cass with more.
Bishop David Ogine has officially taken over the leadership of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission from retired Archbishop Eliud Wabukala, who has served for the last 6 years. Ogine has been sworn in today by Chief Justice Martha Koome of the Supreme Court. In his acceptance speech, Ogine has vowed to fight corruption, which he refers to as the worst enemy of the country. He has pledged to build on the work of his predecessors and promote ethics, integrity, and good governance by collaborating with actors in the justice sector.
The Republic of Kenya and President of the Supreme Court, Justice Martha Koome, Vice Chairperson of the EACC, Dr. Monica Mwiru, our fellow commissioners who are here present, Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Twalib.
Ogine, who holds a PhD in organizational leadership from Regent University in the United States, served as the presiding Bishop of Christ is the Answer Ministries between 2010 and 2020. He also served as the Chancellor of Pan-Africa University from 2011 to 2021 and taught at Daystar University. Chief Justice Martha Koome has reminded Bishop Ogine of a huge responsibility bestowed on him of leading an institution that is safeguarding public interest and promoting public confidence.
First of all, my apologies to invite you and not have a place for you to sit. We are still trying to figure out how we can build a Supreme Court that can be able to accommodate everybody and treat everybody with dignity. So you will bear with us. My very, very warm congratulations to you, Bishop Dr. David Ogine, on your...
Several other individuals took oaths of office administered by Koome, including a commission appointed to conduct an inquiry into the Shakahola tragedy, a task force appointed to review legal and regulatory frameworks governing religious organizations in Kenya, and 2 members of the political parties' disputes tribunal.
Now, in Che, Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki visited Shakahola Forest today to oversee the resumption of the exhumation exercise that had been halted last week due to bad weather conditions. Kindiki has revealed that 65 people have so far been rescued alive in Shakahola Forest, with the death toll now rising to 133. Take a look.
The Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki has today overseen the resumption of the exhumation exercise in Shakahola, Kilifi County, days after the government suspended operations due to the bad weather. The victims, who are said to be members of the Good News International Church, are said to have been fasting to their deaths in order to meet Jesus. The CS was quick to affirm that the government will use all its available resources in order to get to the bottom of what happened in Shakahola. Kindiki went on to add that the incident is now one of the worst tragedies in the history of the country. This comes as 21 more bodies were exhumed from 9 graves in today's exercise, bringing the total death toll to 133. The number of suspects arrested in connection to Paul Mackenzie currently stands at 25. Families that are unable to locate their loved ones have been advised to reach out to the support center for identification. The CS also stated that the curfew currently imposed in the area is still active, and those found outside during the curfew shall be considered suspects. Yvonne Kemuma, KU TV.
Pentecostal churches' umbrella bodies have issued a statement regarding a claim of being neglected in decision-making by President William Ruto regarding the Presidential Task Force on matters related to churches' regulation. This comes days after the President created a task force to control religious organizations in the country after a cult-related activity linked to controversial Pastor Paul Mackenzie left 133 people dead.
In relation to Shakahola massacre in Kilifi County that led to President William Ruto creating a task force to regulate religious organizations in the country, the Pentecostal church bodies have condemned the decision by the head of state, claiming that they were not consulted in decision-making. Bishop Hudson Dend of Bethel Worship Center has condemned the Shakahola incident, consequently condemning President William Ruto's decision to appoint the task force to regulate religious organizations, citing that the church is self-regulatory.
However, we vehemently oppose the knee-jerk reaction by the present administration against our religious liberty, which has created and gazetted a task force on 5th May 2023.
The clergy also added that the church has strategies and laws that governs itself, urging the government to invalidate the committee he appointed to ensure that all church leaders are involved in decision-making.
We urge His Excellency, Dr. William Ruto, to revoke the gazetted task force dated 5th May 2023 and come up with an all-inclusive membership which represents Pentecostals and Charismatic churches and evangelicals.
Instead of having a task force, we only need to work with the leadership of the umbrella bodies to discuss with the government officers on the best ways of bringing transparency and accountability to the local church and ministers.
This comes after the appointment of the former Secretary General of National Council of Churches of Kenya, Reverend Mutava Musyimi, as the chairperson of the task force to review the legal system and control of religious organizations following the Shakahola incident that has so far claimed 133 lives.
Pentecostal church leaders are against the implementation of the task force by President William Ruto, adding that the churches are already regulated. Dorothy Musyoka, KUTV.
Now, President William Ruto is in Israel for a two-day state visit following an invitation by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Ruto, who arrived from the Netherlands today, was hosted by Israel's President Isaac Herzog, where he is expected to tour several agricultural projects in Israel and hold high-level discussions on areas of mutual interest between the two countries.
In his state visit to Israel today, President Ruto was welcomed by Israel President Isaac Herzog at his residence in Jerusalem. The two leaders engaged in bilateral mutual talks and agreed to expand the Kenya-Israel cooperation in trade, agriculture, security, and technology.
We could do so much more in terms of business relations in all fields of agriculture, trade, science, and energy, and all other fields of joint cooperation.
Mr. President, I am looking forward to elevating these relations to a new level, that you and I can superintend over a new phase of greater and deeper understanding and cooperation between our two countries.
President Ruto stated that the visit is geared towards broadening Kenya and Israel's friendship with a special focus on agriculture. They added that Israel's modern farming technology will sustainably drive a hugely transformational agenda in Kenya. However, President Herzog observed that Israel's modern farming technology will sustainably drive Kenya's hugely transformational plan.
From education to agriculture to defense and many other areas, we have many people trained in Israel in our agricultural sector.
We could do so much more in terms of business relations in all fields of agriculture, trade, science, and energy, and all other fields of joint cooperation.
After meeting his Israel counterpart, President Ruto proceeded to have a meeting with Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. During the meeting, the two leaders agreed that there exists a huge potential between the two countries, with President Ruto saying that there is a wide range of exports that deserve to reach the Israel market. On his part, Mr. Netanyahu committed to continue working with Kenya in fighting terrorism, countering radicalization and violent extremism. he said it is of essence for the two countries to remain stable and peaceful as they pursue socio-economic friendship. President Ruto's delegation discussions with Israel officials is expected to open up new opportunities for investment and technology transfer to Kenya.
Right, that story was produced by James Mureki Mwenda, beg your pardon. Now, former Transport Cabinet Secretary Michael Kamau is a free man after the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, Nordin Haji, today Tuesday applied for the withdrawal of his 33 million Kenya shillings graft case, citing insufficient evidence to sustain the case. Magistrate Victor Wahumile formally granted the request, thus ending a 7-year tussle between the former CS, the Judicial System, and Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. The request was granted under Section 87A of the Criminal Procedure Code. Kamau's case started in 2016 when he was accused of illegally tendering construction of the Kamkuyu-Kaptama-Kapsukwony Sirisia Road. Students looking to pursue technical and vocational education and training TVET courses within universities will not receive any scholarships from the government. The Chief Executive Officer of Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Services, that is KUCCPS, Agnes Wahome, stated that the TVETs within universities were not selected for government scholarships according to the new funding model, which was announced by President William Ruto on May 3rd. In addition, Agnes noted that the KUCCPS portal will be open for the 2022 KCAC candidates in a week's time.
The Kenya University and Colleges Central Placement Service KUCCPS CEO Agnes Wahome has clarified that students who choose to pursue TVET courses within universities will have to finance themselves as the government won't provide scholarships for them. According to the KUCCPS CEO, the new university funding model dictates that only students joining TVETs registered under the Ministry of Education, including the National Polytechnics and Technical Training Institutes TTIs, would be eligible for government scholarships and loans. Madam Agnes also added that the 2022 KCAC candidates will be able to make their applications to join universities and TVETs from next week after the KUCCPS portal opens. This happens amidst the rush by institutions to provide information on the cost of their programs to KUCCPS by tomorrow, after which the service will publish the information to help students make their choices. While announcing the new funding model, the president noted that the funding will be through government scholarships, loans, and bursaries, where those joining universities will get up to 38% of scholarships and 55% in form of loans, while those joining TVET will get up to 32% of scholarships and 48% in loans. Ruth Wanjiru for KU TV.
All right, we are taking a very fast short break at this point. Of course, we are coming back with so much more, so stay with us.
We are all seeing the impacts of climate change. In Kenya, for example, the frequency of the floods is becoming more and worse. The amount of people and livestock we're losing.
The level we need to go is a level where the normal mwananchi and also the government stakeholders can uptake these solutions.
Those small acts multiplied by millions of us will help make a difference in the world at the end of the day.
It's just a slight behavior change that we need, and you'll find that it serves us a bit more than you put in. And that's the goal. We want to live a better world than we found, because at the rate we are going, it's dire.
We will secure the planet for future generations.
Children's Corner. Welcome to
Children's Corner.
Children's Corner.